Hey, this is Hero Trade About Secrets. We're gonna do a daily trading journal today. Not much has been going on, but let's kind of take a look, and also I'm gonna do a vault analysis of how other people are doing, and it looks kind of brutal. So let's go take a look. All right, so far, we're kind of like down negative, but it's all unrealized. So I haven't taken the loss yet because we're still DCing in. Um, Overall, I did take some profit. So looking at my investors part here. 22,000 is kind of where I'm at. I did take some, so I moved it out, transferred out $290, and paid some bills, and we're good to go. Yeah, so let's go and look at the trades right now. This is kind of where we're at. We DC'd in. I'm DCing a little more aggressively now. I was using a little more graduated, which was kind of like dabbling in there. It really wasn't taking much positions on the way up. Now that I've switched to more aggressive, it is coming back down, which was set for when it was nice, when I was DCing kind of like on the wicks and everything else. But you know what? Scared money makes no money, so we're in a little heavier now, and kind of an extra $200-300 per rung that comes in. Okay. At 2 o'clock, it'll probably reset and it'll kind of pull this a little closer. We'll kind of take more positions up down here. And the take profit will stay above the profit lines because we want to take profit above the average entry order and go from there. So otherwise, as far as history-wise, we just kind of filled one and not much profit been taken since 27. So it's been about a good 5 days now since anything's happened on the way down. But I think what happens is that when it does pop up, all those tiny little gains that we were making before all gets made up once we get back in position as we're building a bigger and bigger position size. So about 7,000 now. Before we're like 2 to 3. So at least it'll double that, and we might get more. So as long as we're using a majority of our balance, we can make more, and also we have room to for it to continue to go down and not freak out if it drops 10-20% or whatever. We'll just ride it out, we'll continue DCAing and continue to deposit more into it, and let it go from there. Let's go ahead and take us the vaults and see how Coqual and CryptoCat's doing. CryptoCat is down quite a bit, 20%. Yeah, he was up there taking a lot of risk, and he's 22% for the year. I think he was almost 100%. He's negative 100 now. Close wise, been taking a lot of hits right here. The thing with leverage is that you gotta hold it for, you only get to hold it for a certain amount of time. I have an article that kind of talks about more about leverage on my X, and looking at my article, it does talk about the holding time for the amount of leverage that you have, and it's called the What I Didn't Know About Leverage. So it's gonna go here, read it. It's a pretty good read. If you notice here, if you leverage 5x, the price can move to about 19%. And after about 995 days, it becomes unsustainable because of the fees that catch up and eats up your profit basically. So if James Wynn was leveraging 20x, these are the number of funding fees, right, which equals to about 6 days. So there's 3 funding days, so every 8 hours you get charged a fee for holding that position. In about 6 days, it'll basically liquidate you on the max unsustainable one, right? So usually about half, you get a half a movement and a 2% change. Okay, so that 2% change is your max, but then with the funding fee, that kind of cuts it in half now, I guess, after about 3 days. And so now you have 1/4% or 1% or whatever it is, right? Yeah, 1% move before you get liquidated. So time is against you, and it has to move in your favor quite quickly within that one day. Otherwise, a little flick will get you out and you're done, right? So I did some other analysis too. I was like, okay, return on the margin. All right, so this is where we leverage, and you are only using $1,000, right? So $1,000 and it moves 1%, you get $10. You leverage 5x, you get $50. You leverage $1,000, 10x, that's $1,000, or $10,000. I mean, then a 1% move will get you $100. So I kind of do this analysis. I was like, okay, if I just take 1% profit, how would I do? But I could do it multiple times a day. I get in, get out, get in, get out. How profitable would that be? So if you can actually achieve this with that volatility and get that in 2, 3 times a day with a DCA tool, you might not be able to fill everything, but at 25x and just risk $100, and as you're taking profit, just move it out of your account from your perpetual to funding account. That way you're not all in on it, and so you got to take profit on the side. Otherwise, once you get wicked, it could just clean you out. Okay, so that's kind of one of those things about leverage that I've kind of learned about. So I say 25 is kind of decently safe with 3 to 4%. That's kind of how Bitcoin's moving, about 3 to 4% a day. Yeah, and occasionally it might do a 5 to 10, but they are rare. But within the meantime, you are a little more safer leveraging that. And most likely, I would leverage short instead of long, because long takes a little time to build up, and the time for it to build up eats into you. And shorts is where it just dumps fast, and that's where you can really take advantage of it moving in your favor. So I will think about in June, June 15, I might look into creating a BTC short with 25x account with DCA bot, and let it do its thing, and see how much we make, as much as we can before I get liquidated. But all the while, I'll start taking profit as it comes in, and because you got to move money out. Otherwise, what's the point of making all that money when you get cleaned out with one wick, right? Just like James Wynn, I guess. All right, so let's go back over here and talk about Coco. He seems to be doing okay, and he's steadily climbing still, increasing his position and whatnot. I think he's closing a lot in green. His current position right now, not too shabby. He's got a little more, or a little equal of losses to gains, but he's steadily climbing. He's taking a lot of gains, small ones, although but as long as he keeps taking profit, I think this compounds quite nicely. Vault value is up to 5K in terms of how many deposits and investors that's put their money in. Other than his 2 grand, all these guys are doing well. So, and staying in. All right, Coco, congrats to you. Keep it up. I'm sure you got something good going on, but I think I'll be able to, get somewhere substantial in the 20% with a higher bank account, higher wallet balance, and not have to worry about getting liquidated. Okay.